Hey everyone, it is your commissioner. It is your champion wearing the shades because the belt's too bright. And I wanted to talk a few things about the league. We had our draft yesterday. I think it overall went well. I think some people drafted really well, and some people were drafting for this belt right here. So yeah, I we'll see what happens. But I just kind of want to do like a weekly video. I was gonna do these on Wednesdays, but I want to do like a breakdown of all the matches for the week, kind of give my thoughts, my opinions. I would like more people if they want to do it as well. Everybody should be able to do it. Sorry about the glare on the sunglasses, but even for my regular glasses, they also have glare, so deal with it, I guess, is what I'm gonna have to say for you. But anyway, I want to just give a breakdown of the matches, kind of give my thoughts and my opinions on it. Take it or leave it, whatever you guys want to do with it. I don't really care. Right? I we'll see what happens. I for those of you who don't know, my wife's pregnant. She's about to be due in a couple weeks, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this every week, but I'll see what I can do. Trying to do this on Wednesdays might be a pain as well. When I was trying to write up the breakdown for this, I do have kind of a script to go off of just to let you guys know. Um, it's more of like notes for each of the matches and just kind of give my opinions and everything. It's based on what you guys have now in your lineups. I know lineups can change, people can get different people, all that. But this is just kind of me breaking down the matches, what match I think is going to have be the game of the week, and all that. Um, but we'll see what happens. I'm hoping this is going to be a fun year for everybody. But I think at the end of it, this ain't going anywhere. So sorry, guys. So let's break this down. When I do my breakdowns, and I think probably with everyone's, who knows, but with mine, my matchups are always first, and then everyone, and then so this is just based on how I see the scoreboard, and I'm just going to go one by one of the matches. So mine are always going to be first. Take with it what you will. I don't care. So the first match I have is going to be it's going to be the PB Mama Bows versus Antonio Brown's helmet. Yeah, I'm going to change my name eventually, but I just put down Antonio Brown's helmet because I thought it was funny because of all the crap that's been going on with that. So let's start off with Drew Brees versus Carson Wentz. Drew Brees is going against the Houston defense. Houston defense, they lost Honey Badger. They lost Jadeveon Clowney. So I don't know how good Houston's defense is going to be. It's kind of weary. And then Carson Wentz against the Washington defense. Washington, I don't think, has a really good defense. I'm pretty sure they don't. So I'm going to give the slightest of edges to Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz has a lot of firepower against a Washington defense that I just don't think is really existent right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if Drew Brees goes out there and does Drew Brees things against Houston's defense. There's a lot of talk about Drew Brees being weaker this year, but I just don't see it. And until I do, I gotta treat Drew Brees like Drew Brees, like Drew Brees is Drew Brees. So next one is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break it down as quarterback, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and then just give kind of like my overall afterwards. So next is the running backs, which is Kerryon Johnson going against Arizona and Chris Carson going against Cincinnati versus Christian McCaffrey going against LA Rams and Nick Chubb going against Tennessee. I do think that you might win the running back battle because of Arizona and Cincinnati don't have very good defenses, and the Rams do, and Tennessee kind of does, kind of sort of. They're kind of in the middle. I could technically win that match, but it's going to be close. That one's going to be really, really close. So we'll see how that one goes. But I think it's going to be. I think you have the slight edge in running back. Michael Thomas, who's going against the Houston defense, and Tyler Lockett going against the Cincinnati defense versus Devontae Adams and the Chicago defense, and Robert Woods versus the Carolina defense. Michael Thomas is a monster. He's an absolute stud. Houston's going to have their handful, and Tyler Lockett. We'll see. I hope he does well. He's going against Cincinnati defense, so he should do really well. But we'll see. Devontae Adams against Chicago. Chicago's a tough defense, but Devontae Adams is going to get the ball somehow, some way. Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur is going to figure out a way to get Devontae Adams the ball. That's what I see. And then Robert Woods in Carolina. It's going to be a tough one. So you might have the advantage. You might have the advantage in wide receiver with just Michael Thomas. But so I think so. I think you definitely will. OJ Howard versus George Kittle. OJ Howard is he's really, really, really strong candidate for top 5 tight end, and going into a Bruce Arians offense, I think Jameson Winston is going to find a way to get him the ball early and often. But San Francisco's defense is much better now. Their defensive ends, they got D Ford now and Nick Bosa on the ends, and then they have and their linebackers are much better. They got now Quan Alexander that they picked up from Tampa Bay, and they have Dre Greenlaw, who is a rookie this year, but he looked like an absolute stud in preseason. So I think their defense is going to be much better. The secondary is still iffy, but their front seven's really, really strong. So I don't know if OJ Howard's really going to have a lot of opportunity, but he might, and that's going to be tough. But against George Kittle, who's going against Tampa Bay defense, I do think Kittle has the advantage here. I think they're just going to get the ball to Kittle way too much, way too fast, and I don't see OJ Howard winning this battle. But it's going to be a close one, I think. I do think it's going to be really close. Eagles D against Washington versus Ravens D against Miami. The thing about Miami is that they're starting Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Fitzpatrick likes to be really good in the beginning and then suck in about quarter way through the season. So he's like really good in September, and then every other month he's just absolute trash. So it could be the Eagles D just walk all over Washington, destroy them. I can also see the Ravens D destroying Miami. I can also see Miami destroying the Ravens defense because it's Fitzpatrick and it's what he does. So I have to go as it's a wash for me. I just don't know how that's going to turn out. On paper, I would say Baltimore, but it could be either or, right? So we'll see how that goes. Will Lutz versus Jake Elliott for kickers. Again, I think that's also a wash. It's hard to know what the defenses and kickers are going to do, but they help win games, right? Since Mama Bose is at home. Oh, no, I'm at home. Sorry. I'm at home. Since I'm at home, I might have a slight edge. So I do think it's going to be a closer game than people realize. But I do think that I might have the slight edge because of the home field advantage. But it's going to be a close one. It's going to be really good. Next up, I have what I consider the game of the week, which is Welcome to Pennsylvania versus Latex Lazy. This matchup's going to be crazy. We have Kirk Cousins versus Russell Wilson. Kirk Cousins going against Atlanta defense, and Russell Wilson's going against Cincinnati defense. I think Russell Wilson's got it in the bag. because Cincy's defense is not very good at all. Delvin Cook and Duke Johnson versus Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley. This is tough because I can see it going either way. To me, it's a wash only because we don't really know what we're getting out of Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell had a really good offensive line in Pittsburgh, but now he doesn't really have that good of an offensive line in Buffalo. So I don't know how well he's going to do. I really don't. I don't know. And Todd Gurley's coming off of a knee injury, so he could be good, he could be bad. It's up and down, right? Delvin Cook, he's good. He's not great, but he's good. He's I'd say roughly middle of the pack. And Duke Johnson now being the Houston running back against the New Orleans defense that's really good. It could be a wash. I'm going to go with Bell and Gurley only because I don't know how well Cook and Johnson will do against those defenses. So that's going to be a tough one. But I think it's going to be really, really close. Julio Jones and Tyler Boyd versus Antonio Brown and Calvin Ridley. I would give this one just to Jones and Boyd because of Julio Jones. I don't know what we're getting out of Antonio Brown. He might do really well against the Denver defense. Denver defense might do really well. Bradley Chubb might be able to get up the middle real quick against David Carr. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be really tough, but I do give the edge to Pennsylvania on that one. Zach Ertz versus Jared Cook. I'm just going to give it to Zach Ertz. I don't see Jared Cook having more points than Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is too trustworthy in that defense, so I just don't see it. Chargers D versus Kansas City D. Chargers D is going against Indianapolis. KC's D is going against Jacksonville. I'd say Chargers D only because of we kind of know what we get out of Jacoby Brissett, but not really. And I don't know how well he's going to be able to lead that defense. So we'll see. And Vinatieri versus against the LA Chargers and versus Aldrich Rodgers versus Dallas. Just with kickers, you just got to go with what you think is going to be a closer match. So the kickers will have to be more in tuned. I'm gonna go Rosas only because it's against Dallas, and normally Giants and Dallas, you don't see a lot of you see a lot of shootouts. You don't really see a lot of closer games with them. So we'll see. Pennsylvania has Zeke and Melvin Gordon, which could be signing contracts soon. So I think he might have the best running back core I think I've ever seen. It's ridiculous. He's got a really good team, so be careful. All right, next, Seattle top picks versus A-Town Annihilators, which also going to be a really good game. Ben Roethlisberger versus Jared Goff. I have Ben Roethlisberger going against New England defense versus Jared Goff's going against the Carolina defense. Either way, they're both going to be it's going to be good either way, but I'll give the edge to Ben Roethlisberger. I think he's just going to have more bombs than Jared Goff will. James White and Miles Sanders versus Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs. I got to give the edge to Saquon. Even with James White and Miles Sanders, I just think Saquon's going to just go crazy against the Dallas defense. Juju Smith-Schuster and Adam Thielen versus DeAndre Hopkins and Mike Evans. That's going to be a fairly close, but I do think DeAndre Hopkins and Mike Evans will end up pulling that out. I hope Thielen gets back to what he's doing. I hope Kirk Cousins and Thielen go well together. But if not, Thielen needs to get the heck out of there in Minnesota. We'll see. Travis Kelce versus Hunter Henry. Kelsey's going against the Jacksonville defense versus Hunter Henry's going against the Indianapolis defense. I'd give the edge to Kelsey just because he's kind of old reliable there. Jacksonville's defense is going to be approved, I hope, but we'll see. Um, Jags D versus Jags D going against Kansas City versus Seahawks D in Cincinnati. Yeah, Seahawks D all the way. That's a no-brainer. Damian Williams versus Sony Michel. That's a tough one. Hmm, I give a slight. No, I believe that's tough. I would say Sony Michel only because running back has more opportunities to get points versus a wide receiver. Because wide receivers are basically boom or bust. I could easily see Damian Williams winning that contest, but I have to give the edge to the running back. That's tough. Kiami Fairbairn, good lord, that freaking name, versus Robbie Gould. I'm gonna give the edge to Robbie Gould, just because I feel like they have more opportunities to be kicking field goals against Tampa Bay defense than Houston will against New Orleans. So I have no real problems with that match. I think it's going to be a really, really close one. I do give the edge to A-Town Annihilators. But I also, real quick, I do think that Pennsylvania is going to win against Texas Lazy. I think it's going to be a smash. Not smash. It's going to be close. It's going to be really close. Sorry. That's going to be really close. But A-Town Annihilators top picks also going to be fairly close, but I do think A-Town Annihilators is going to win. I think that's going to be interesting. Team Ford versus Mad City War Machine. Deshaun Watson versus Philip Rivers. I think Philip Rivers has the edge there. We have Alvin Kamara and Derrick Henry versus David Johnson and Amari Cooper. Oh boy, I definitely screwed that one up. That is I actually wrote that one down wrong. This is why this takes forever. It's ridiculous. But I wanted to try this out and see how this works. So give me 1 second. James Conner and David Johnson. So James Conner and David Johnson versus Derrick Henry and Alvin Kamara. I give the edge to David Johnson and James Conner, only because I don't know what we're Derrick Henry's really he's really hit or miss, and he has more hit misses than hits. And Alvin Kamara is really strong, but you're also going against David Johnson, who's strong, and James Conner, who's really good. So I just have to give the edge there and running back to Mad City War Machine. Brandon Cooks and Stephon Diggs versus Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen. I think Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen are just going to take that one because Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen are both really good. Stephon Diggs is really, I mean, they're all really good, but Amari Cooper he's getting targets left and right. And Keenan Allen, he's probably going to get targeted a lot. Mike Williams is also on that offense, so he's going to get targeted a lot as well. I just give a slight edge to the Bad City. I think that one might be a little close, might be pretty close. Brandon Cooks is good. Stephon Diggs is really good, but those two I think are just slightly better. Evan Ingram versus Vance McDonald. I got to give the edge to Evan Ingram only because Vance McDonald is good old stone hands. Vance McStonehands is what I like to call him because he kind of likes to, instead of grab the ball, he closes his hand early so the ball bounces off his hands, and he just keeps bouncing off of his hands. He's not good. But hey, people pick him. They think a lot of people think he's going to have a breakout year this year. I just don't see it, and he's more of a believe it I'll believe it when I see it kind of deal. So we'll see. Tarek Cohen versus Leonard Fournette. That one's close, but I do think Tarek Cohen against the Green Bay defense will have a better opportunity than Leonard Fournette against Kansas City's defense. Kansas City defense may not be very good, but their offense is going to be really strong. So they're probably going to have a lot of shootouts. I just kind of give the edge to Tarek Cohen right now because Fournette had kind of had a down year, so now he's kind of in a. I hope he does better this year, but we'll see. Rams D against Carolina versus Cowboys D against the New York Giants. I gotta give the edge to Cowboys D because they're starting Eli, and Eli likes to throw interceptions because he's just not accurate. I don't care what people say about Eli; he's just not accurate. It's why you have to have like these amazing wide receivers like OBJ, like Victor Cruz, who have to make these athletic catches because Eli doesn't throw it to them; he throws it around them, and it's Eli Manning, I swear. So yeah, Cowboys D. I have to give it to him just because he likes to throw the interception. Greg Zuerlein versus Harrison Butker. I think Zuerlein's going to have more opportunities against Carolina's defense. I don't know. Actually, Harrison Butker might. I'll give that a wash. I don't know. I have no idea how that's going to go. I could see either one of them having more points, and I mean, with kickers, anybody can have a good day, and anybody can have a bad day. So you just don't know. I do think Mad City War Machine is going to win that one. I don't think it's going to be really that close. I just think they have too much firepower against Steve Ford. But I could be wrong. But that's how I see it. Last game, Passworders Taco versus Last Place Strap Holders. This is gonna be interesting. Mahomes is gonna beat out Matt Ryan. I just don't see Matt Ryan scoring more points than Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is just he's a freak of nature. That's all I'm gonna say about him. Joe Mixon and Kenyon Drake versus Devontae Freeman and Mark Ingram. Joe Mixon is going against Seattle defense, and Kenyon Drake's going against Baltimore defense. That's tough. Devontae Freeman going against Minnesota defense is pretty tough, but Mark Ingram going against Miami is not that tough. So I got to give the edge to the running backs here. Tyreek Hill against Jacksonville and Cooper Kupp versus Carolina against Julian Edelman against Pittsburgh and Odell Beckham Jr. against Tennessee. I have to give the edge to OBJ and Julian Edelman. Tyreek Hill could go off, right? But I have to think that Jacksonville's defense has got to be better this year than it was last year. And if I'm proven wrong, I'm proven wrong. But there's something about them. I think they're gonna be better this year. I think they're gonna have. I think they just have something to prove. So I like Tyreek Hill. I like Cooper Kupp. I just like Julian Edelman and OBJ just a bit better. So I'm going to give the edge to Julian Edelman and OBJ on that one. Jimmy Graham and Greg Olsen. Jimmy Graham is more of a what have you done for me lately versus Greg Olsen, who's old reliable. So I got to give the edge to Greg Olsen. Josh Gordon versus D.D. Westbrook. Josh Gordon can open it up, but they don't throw to him a whole lot last year. So I don't know. I don't really know what I'm getting out of Josh Gordon now. I mean, he was really, really, really good and smoked a lot of weed. Now he's kind of okay. And you're going against D.D. Westbrook. D.D. Westbrook, I don't think Kansas City's defense is going to be that good. They lost a lot of pieces. it's more of a I haven't seen what they've done recently to really say that like, oh yeah, these Kansas City defense, that's a good one. I don't see it. I don't see anything yet. So I don't know. I'm gonna say I'm gonna give a slight edge to D.D. Westbrook, but it could be close. I could see Josh Gordon winning, but he's another boomer bust candidate for me. I just don't see anything that'll change that. Bears defense against Green Bay versus Saints defense against Houston. That's a wash for me. I'm going to have to go with the Bears defense only because Houston with Deshaun Watson, and they have DeAndre Hopkins. They now have Kenny Stills, and they now have I believe Will Fuller is back, but I don't know. He's always injured, so if they have all three of those, that's dangerous for any defense. And they have Duke Johnson as running back, which Duke Johnson's pretty good. So I have to give a slight edge to the Bears defense against Green Bay, which feels kind of weird to say, but I think that's what's because it's hard to go against Houston's offense right now. But we'll see. Justin Tucker in Miami versus Steve Gutowski in Pittsburgh. That's gonna be close. That's actually I feel like that's gonna be a wash, but I got to give a slight edge to Justin Tucker just because he's gonna have so many more opportunities in Miami. And then I have Austin Eckler. So I would say since you are starting Kenyon Drake, my suggestion would be starting Austin Eckler over Kenyon Drake. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but Austin Eckler is the starter, and he's going against. Let's see. He's going against Indy's defense, and I feel like with Kenyon Drake going against Baltimore's defense, I think Indy's defense is slightly worse than Baltimore's defense. So I do think Eckler would be slightly better option for you, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, those are my takes. It's almost a half an hour video. Jesus Christ! But this is my opportunity to say what I want to say, and I hope everybody has a good year. I hope everybody has fun this year. If you guys want me to do more videos, let me know. If you guys don't want me to do any more videos, cool. Yeah, so this is your commissioner. This is your champion. See you guys later.